Hey, it's Phil, and I need your help. We are thinking about developing an accessory for the TopspinPro, but we're not sure if there's demand for it. So I wanted to check in with you to see what you thought. Now, when most people start using the TopspinPro for the first time, they get how it's used, right? They'll swing in from low to high, they'll get the racket to match the bottom panel, and they'll slide up like that. But there are two quite common errors people make. We think it's a small percentage, but we wanted to check. And those two errors are as follows. Some people will swing in horizontally like this. Let me get that out the way. I'll show you that in a second. They'll swing in like that. And if you do that, at no point does the racket drop below the ball, so it's impossible to hit with topspin. So they'll do that, they'll slide up. It might turn a bit, but it doesn't really work. The second problem, which is quite common, is they'll swing low to high, which is great, but instead of having the racket tilted forward to match the screen, what they'll do is they'll open the racket face. So they'll swing like this. They'll scoop like that. Again, the ball turns over a bit, but there's not much topspin. And so we've come up with an idea that actually corrects both of those problems, and I'll show you how it works. So we're calling it I think the path director at the moment is its working title, and it puts an obstruction behind the ball. There we go. Let me show you a bit closer like that, so you can see there's a big oopsie. Hopefully on the final product it stays in more easily. There we go. I think ultimately we'll use a magnet to keep it in place. But there you go. So it's a U-shaped bend, and it puts an obstruction roughly around ball height behind the ball. And so you can see immediately that the first group I talked to you about, they can't swing in horizontally. They've got to swing in down below and do that, right? So they've got to drop the racket below the obstruction and slide up. And the same is true of the second group. They can't swing with the racket face open, because if they do, they'll knock the arm off. So they've got to swing in with their racket face parallel to the screen. So let me show you from behind so you can get a different view of it. So instead of swinging horizontal, you've got to swing in down below. So you swing in down there and you drop the racket and slide up. And again, you can't swing in with the racket face scooped. You've got to make sure it's closed, matching the screen, so you can get in between that channel. So we've got a little Google survey, just 2 or 3 questions, just to get your feedback and to get an idea of if you think it's something that would be worthwhile us making.